The Energy Select Committee, Tim Yeo, but a short time before the show was due to start, Mr Yeo had to pull out. The Sunday Times had published a story that morning accusing the MP of breaking lobbying rules. He's now been cleared of any wrongdoing by the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards, and I'm delighted to say he joins me now. Welcome to you, Mr Yeo. A few months late, you've been cleared. I mean, you were convinced, as you said at the time, of your innocence on the allegations that were made against you. Why didn't you turn up?
Well, it was a very unpleasant surprise to me to find a lot of things that were not true in one of the Sunday papers, and I thought that there wasn't much merit in giving that story more credence at the time. I'm very pleased now, after an examination lasting over 5 months, that the Parliamentary Standards Committee has completely exonerated me of all the charges made by the Sunday Times. Yeah,
and they said, and you said that you were in a sense entrapped by the journalists. I mean, if you felt that, why did you go that route? Why didn't you go to the Press Complaints Commission?
I thought it was important that Parliament itself, which sets very rigorous standards for what MPs can do, should have the chance to examine this in great detail, which they have, and I think that's the verdict on which I'm happy to rely. That document is now a public document, accessible online, and I welcome the fact it's been published. I look forward very much on Tuesday to chairing the next meeting of the Energy and Climate Change Select Committee.
I mean, last question on it, and again, you said you were quoted out of context, but there is, you know, some of the quotes were in full, and this is the key one, isn't it? When you said to the undercover reporters, if you want to meet the right people, I can facilitate all those introductions, and I use the knowledge I get from what is quite an active network of connections, you went on to say, and that included government ministers. I mean, you did say that.
Well, I'm very disappointed that you've chosen to do exactly what the Sunday Times did.
Well, is that selective?
To take one sentence out of a conversation lasting an hour and a half. The Parliamentary Standards Committee has looked at the whole conversation. They've concluded that the only misrepresentation that took place was that of the journalists themselves. So I hope people will be very careful.
OK, but that's a chunk in full. I'm just asking you if that full section hangs together.
I'm telling you that the people who've taken the trouble to look at more than one sentence have concluded that I broke no rules, that my conduct did not in any way contravene any of the House rules, and that the only people who made any misrepresentation in this case were the journalists themselves. I hope very much that Sky News is not going to fall into the same trap.
No, indeed, Raj. Just as I say, we've got that quotation there. I mean, did you say that in a different context, but you said it in the order of those words?
I invite your viewers to access the full report online, and they can see the conclusion which was reached, which was that I was totally exonerated.
OK, let's move on then to